All right, you're going to create one of these, and I'm going to print it out, and we can use it to find different types of lines. So here's what you need for your project. So you need some kind of picture, and then you need to draw lines on top of it that are a little bit transparent so you can kind of see under it. And you need to draw parallel lines, perpendicular lines, and intersecting lines. And then you're going to make a little key like this, but it's going to be a little different because I want you to put the key on the next page. The reason I want you to do that is because we're going to fix the picture down as the background. So there might not be room to put the key on the page. And let me show you what I mean. So yours might be 2 slides. One slide for the picture and then one slide for the key. So come down here, make a new slide, and pick your background. I don't want you to spend the whole time picking out a picture. In fact, if you go quick, then you could do another one afterwards, and then it doesn't matter what picture you use because you got to do 2 or 3. So do not spend a lot of time finding your picture. I recommend using the actual web to find your pick instead of using this because you need to download the picture to your actually, you don't need to download it. You can set your background with it, but you're going to have more variety if you just use a new tab. Okay, but you can do it just within Google Slides. You need to set the picture as your background. So you could search the web, but I'm going to show you the way that gets you better results. So you could pick like a carnival, an Among Us map, etc. Let's do like carnival, clip art. See what we get. And then you need to find something that does have parallel lines. That one, it has perpendicular intersecting. I don't see any parallel lines unless I create them, right? I could add something in, but you're going to make sure that it has the different types of lines because otherwise there's no use. Maybe background. This one right here is really good. I think I see some parallel lines at least. And I see some perpendicular lines. Okay, so now you need to download this to your desktop or your download folder, right? On a Chromebook, it'll just go to your downloads folder. So I'm going to get the picture as big as I can by actually going to the website, and we'll see if it'll actually let me have it. And then I'm going to do that 2-finger tap and hit Save Image As. So double click, Save Image As. Doesn't matter what it's called as long as you can find it. So I'm going to call it Carnival. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to set it as my background. Browse because it's on my computer. Desktop. It was called Carnival, so I'm just going to click on one thing and put the word C until it pops up. And now I'm going to put it in. And if it stretches it out, if the dimensions aren't perfect, that's okay. Cool. All right, so again, I could put my key down here on the bottom if I feel like I have room for it, but I think I could also just put it on the next page. So now I'm going to start putting lines over this. And as I do so, if you look at the Among Us one I made, every time I put a line like these orange lines, I put a key underneath right there, a little orange box with an equal sign. When I put the green lines, I went right away and put a green box with equal signs so that people know what is matching what. So I'm going to do some of these parallel lines first because they look easier. So here's one. Now this is covering up the carnival and that's not going to work. I don't want to cover it. So I need to make it transparent, which means see-through. So I'm going to come down here and click custom and then I'll pick a color. And then down here, see where it says transparency? I'm going to make it kind of transparent. And now I'm going to do copy paste, Control C, Control V, slide it over. There we go. That's my first set, and then immediately I'm going to come down here. And you know what? I already have that rectangle copied, so I'm just going to do Command V again, because then it keeps it the same color, and then I can resize it. And then this way, people have to come in and say orange equals what. So people have to figure out what orange equals. Now I'm going to do another one. If I could find, I see a set of perpendicular lines. Do you see them? It's in the Ferris wheel. Or not Ferris wheel, yeah, it's a Ferris wheel. So I'm going to make my rectangle first, and then I have to resize it to match this line here. One sec. And it's going to take time. This is why, though, this is the reason why I have to fix this carnival to the background, because otherwise, imagine I'd be moving this and the background would be moving around. Since I made it my background, though, that carnival is not going anywhere, which is actually really important. Okay, I want to check that it, fits the angle. Now I'm going to come down to custom again and pick a different color. I will make this yellow. I don't like this over here. This is just white. I want it yellow, but I want it kind of transparent, a little bit see-through so that you can still see the background. Now I'm going to copy paste this, Control C, Control V. And I'm going to click on this little circle, and I want this one to match. There. This is perpendicular. Not quite. See, look, I didn't get it right. I gotta really take your time. There's a lot of tech skills going on here. I'm using the arrows, by the way, to move this up. Now that I have it, it's easier for me. Okay, come down here, Control V to paste my yellow box. Maybe at that rate, instead of having to adjust it, I should just draw another box. But anyways, every time you do one, come down here right away to make the little box key so that you don't have to find all those colors again at the very end, right there. And yellow equals, so then people have to come in and say that those yellow lines are perpendicular. And see some intersecting lines. The curved lines aren't going to work. Everything in geometry right now that we're studying needs to be straight lines. So I might use the Ferris wheel again in a little bit, but I found another set of perpendicular lines that I'm going to do. Oops. Oh, look, green just blends right in. I'm not going to use that. I need to use something a little better. It won't blend in there. But anyways, I want you to have at least 4 different sets of lines. And then once you finish, you can do another one. So then you would just do another picture. So you could do like a soccer field would be really cool, like a bird's eye view soccer field. You could find a piece of art. For example, Kandinsky is an artist who uses lines in all of his paintings. That would be really cool. Purple, purple, purple. So this is how you do this project. The Among Us map up there is just an example. And I do want you to only stick with straight line segments, because otherwise it doesn't actually fit with what we're learning. And I want you to try to find each type. And you know what? If you can't find each type, you could also just draw it yourself if you wanted to. Like I could pretend like the side of this hill right here is coming down and then it's intersecting with this, if you're not able to find it. I can see some right here in the merry-go-round, but it's kind of in the way. So I'm going to do like this hillside. So you can just draw your own lines on here on top of your picture, and that is fine too. You're just trying to make it something that people can look at and try to find things in. Again, once I've gotten that sized, I'm using my arrows to move it around because it's just easier. And that's how you do this project. Okay? So I want you to do one, but then if you finish, I actually want you to keep going. So you might end up making 3 of these, depending on how fast you work. And then just remember that there needs to be a key with it so that people can solve it. And I'll be printing these out or putting them digitally for people. All right, there it is. So I've got my intersecting lines here, parallel here. I've got right angles, and then I've also got a right angle here. I think I might put a couple more on, but I'm technically done. So when you get your slideshow, it'll look like this, so you can see the examples, and then you are just going to make your own slide and set your background. Remember that this picture is fixed because it's a background, so you have to download the picture to your desktop and then set it.